Hello, everybody. It's time to tackle another problem. Yay, I'm excited to do these with you. Let's take a look at this problem. As you can see, I wrote the problem twice here because I'm going to show you two different ways to solve it. And then you can pick whichever way seems easier for you, whichever one you understand more. So what are we doing here? We're solving for x. 3/4 times x equals -6 times the quantity x plus 2. All right, so what do I want to do first? I'm going to draw that line down the center or down through the equal sign to separate the two sides. Then I have an idea here that might help you out a little bit. You see how the fraction, the bottom number, the denominator is a 4? Well, if we multiply both sides of the equations by 4, which is 4/1, your fraction's going to be gone because these will reduce out. And I just get 3x equals. Now, I still got to take this 4 here and times it by -6. A positive times a negative is a negative. 4 times 6 is 24. And I still have that quantity x plus 2. Now, this is all one term. So when I multiply the 4 times the -6, it's really multiplying by the whole thing. Next, we got to decide here what we're going to do. How about if we distribute the -24 through on the right side? So I got 3x equals -24x. And then a negative times a positive is a negative. 24 times 2 is 48. So I took this negative and I multiplied both terms in the parentheses by it. Now look at this crazy thing. What the heck are we going to do with this? Well, the first thing I want to do is I always want to get those x's together on the same side of the equation. So I either need to move the 3x to the right or the -24x to the left. I'm going to go to the left because I want my x's to be positive. So I'm going to take and add 24x. When I do that, I get 27x equals, now these are gone. My 24 and -24 are gone. So all I'm left with is this -48. Now we have 27 times x equals -48. I don't want 27 times x. I want x. So what we're going to do, since they are timesing by 27 in the problem, we're going to divide by 27. So whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. So x equals, now a negative divided by positive is a negative. But why don't we come over to that fraction over there and try to reduce that a little bit? So I'm going to just reduce this. I'm going to bring the negative over, and then I'm going to say 3 goes into 48 and 3 goes into 27. 3 goes into 48 16 times, and 3 goes into 27 9 times. So it's getting smaller, but it's still an improper fraction. Why is it improper? Because the bigger number is on top. So we can do even better than that. Let's bring our negative over and then ask yourself, how many 9s can fit in a 16? Well, 2 9s make 18, so that's too much. So only 1 9 will fit into there. And that leaves me with 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That leaves me with 7 extras. So it's -1 and 7/9. So I'll put that 1 and 7/9 with the negative, and that's our answer. So that's method 1. What are we going to do in method 2? I'm wondering how many of you like that method. It'll help you whenever you're doing fractions. We're going to do more with fractions where there's more than one fraction, and you can see how that works. But let's go over here. Again, we're going to read the problem. It says solve for x. 3/4 times x equals -6 times the quantity x plus 2. Here's my line. I'm going to separate them. Now, if you remember from another problem, if you watch me do other problems, you know you can take this x, and if it's on the side of the fraction, you can move it to the top. So I've got 3x over 4 equals. Now, I got a fraction on the left, so what do you think I'm going to do on the right? I'm going to make it a fraction. And how do I do that? By putting a 1 underneath it. Now we've got that fraction equal to a fraction, which we know is a proportion. And how do we solve the proportion? We cross multiply. So I've got 3x times 1, which is 3x. Then I have, bring down your equal sign. Now I got to cross multiply the other way. 4 times -6 times the quantity x plus 2. Well, 4 times -6 is -24. And then I still have the quantity x plus 2. You guys see what I did there? A +4 times a -6 is a -24. Now let's go on and distribute that -24 all the way through. So I got 3x equals, I'm going to take the -24 and I'm going to times it by x, which is -24x. And then I'm going to times it by a +2. A negative times a positive is a negative. 24 times 2 is 48. Now you can see we're right here, same equation. So we're going to bring our x's together. And as I've mentioned, I like my x's to be positive, so I'm going to add 24x. Add 24x. Now I got all my x's together. The ones on the right, you got a positive and a negative. They're going to cancel each other out, and you got -48. So now I got 27 times x equals -48. And how do we solve that? They're timesing, so we're going to divide. And when we do that, x is -1 7/9. And we're done. Same answer. That's a lot of work for that, isn't it? But whichever method works best for you, you can make it into proportion. There's other ways to do these also. I'm just giving you a couple examples. All right. Let's go on to our next problem. We're going to be doing more on solving equations. They're just going to keep getting more and more advanced. So I hope you continue to watch. And again, if you are getting something out of this, I would appreciate if you subscribed. Have a wonderful day.